Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night because your legs felt heavy, tight, maybe even slightly numb? Or perhaps you've noticed that when you stand up in the morning, your feet feel stiff, swollen, almost as if they don't belong to you for those first few steps. If you're over 60, this is more common than you think. And here's something that may surprise you. In certain rural areas of Japan, where some of the longest living people in the world reside, many elders quietly practice a simple, sleeping position that supports natural blood flow to the legs and feet. No expensive devices. No complicated exercises. No risky tricks. Just a small adjustment in how they rest at night. And for some, the difference feels almost immediate. Tonight, I want to talk to you about that position. Why it works, and how you can safely use it to support better circulation, reduce swelling, and wake up feeling lighter in your lower body. But before we get into the how, we need to understand the why. Because your legs are not just limbs. They are the engines of your independence. When circulation slows in the lower body, you may notice subtle signs first. Cold feet, tingling, mild swelling around the ankles, a feeling of heaviness after sitting too long. Maybe restless legs at night. Maybe cramps that wake you up at 3 a.m. These are not just inconveniences, they are messages. As we age, our veins work harder to push blood back up toward the heart. Unlike arteries, veins don't have thick muscular walls. They rely on tiny valves and the natural pumping action of your calf muscles. When you walk, your calves squeeze the veins and help move blood upward. But what happens when we sit more, move less, or sleep in positions that slightly compress blood flow? Gravity wins. Blood can pool in the lower legs. Fluid can accumulate around the ankles. Tissues may not receive oxygen as efficiently overnight. And by morning, your legs feel like they've aged 10 extra years. Now here's the hopeful part. While we can't stop gravity, we can work with it. Japanese elders, especially in traditional homes where sleeping close to the floor is common, often adopt a subtle but powerful alignment during rest. It gently encourages venous return, the upward movement of blood from the legs, without strain. And the beauty of it? It requires no strength, no flexibility, no athletic ability, just awareness. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain exactly what this position is, how it supports circulation in a natural way, who should avoid it, and how to safely adjust it for your own body. I'll also share why some popular leg elevation hacks you see online may actually make things worse, especially if you have certain heart or blood pressure conditions. So stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand not only the position itself, but the deeper principle behind it. And that principle can help you protect your mobility, your comfort, and your independence for years to come. Imagine going to bed tonight and waking up tomorrow with legs that feel lighter, warmer, more alive. It may not be magic, but sometimes the smallest changes bring the greatest relief. Let's begin with a simple question. When you sleep, where are your legs in relation to your heart? Most people have never thought about that. And yet, that small detail can change everything. Now let's go a little deeper, and I want you to picture something very simple. Imagine a quiet stream flowing downhill. That's how blood moves through your arteries, pushed forward by the steady pumping of your heart. But when blood needs to return from your feet back up to your chest, it has to travel uphill. And unlike arteries, veins don't have a strong pump behind them. They depend on small one-way valves and the gentle squeezing action of your muscles. This is why movement is so powerful for circulation. Every time you walk, your calf muscles act like a second heart. Doctors even call them the peripheral heart. But when you lie still for 6, 7, or 8 hours at night, that muscle pump is resting. So what determines whether blood flows smoothly upward or pools in the lower legs? Gravity, pressure, alignment. Now here is where the Japanese elder sleeping habit becomes interesting. In many traditional Japanese homes, elders sleep on firm futons placed close to the floor. The surface is supportive, not overly soft. Their bodies remain relatively straight neck, spine, hips aligned. And here's the key detail. They often use a very low, subtle elevation under the lower legs, just enough to bring the feet slightly above heart level, but not dramatically raised. Not stacked on 3 pillows. Not bent sharply at the waist, just a gentle incline. Why does this matter? Because when your feet are slightly higher than your heart, gravity begins to assist venous return instead of fighting it. Blood that may have pooled in the lower extremities during the day has an easier path back toward the chest. The pressure inside the leg veins decreases. Swelling can gradually reduce. Oxygen delivery improves. And this often translates into something people notice right away: warmer feet. Have you ever crawled into bed with cold feet that just wouldn't warm up? That's often a sign of reduced peripheral circulation. When blood flow improves, warmth follows. But let me gently correct a common myth. Some people believe that the higher you raise your legs, the better. They prop their feet very high on multiple pillows or even against the wall. For some individuals, that can actually create discomfort. If the hips are bent sharply, you may partially compress the femoral veins in the groin area. If the knees are locked straight with tension, circulation may not improve as much as expected. And if someone has certain heart conditions, aggressively shifting blood volume back toward the chest can cause shortness of breath when lying down. This is why the Japanese approach is modest, subtle, respectful of the body. Another myth I often hear is, "I already lie flat on my back, that's enough." Lying flat is neutral. It doesn't actively help gravity move blood upward. It simply removes the downward pull you feel when standing. A slight incline changes the physics. And if you're a side sleeper, don't worry. This can still work. Many Japanese elders sleep on their sides with a small cushion placed lengthwise under the lower legs, maintaining gentle elevation without twisting the spine. Let me share a real-life example. A 72-year-old gentleman once told me he dreaded bedtime. Not because he couldn't sleep, but because he knew he'd wake up with stiff, swollen ankles. He assumed it was just aging. We made one small adjustment: a folded blanket placed under the lower half of his mattress, creating a mild incline for the legs. Within a week, he noticed his morning swelling had reduced. Within a month, he said his legs felt lighter, as if he had more energy for his morning walk. Now, was it magic? No, it was physiology. When you support venous return during the long hours of rest, you give your circulatory system a break. You allow fluid that may have collected in the tissues to redistribute. You reduce the strain on those tiny vein valves that have been working hard all day. But here's something even more important. The sleeping position works best when combined with daytime habits. If someone sits for 10 hours without moving and expects one-night position to fix everything, that's unrealistic. Circulation is dynamic. It responds to rhythm, movement, and rest working together. In a moment, I'm going to explain exactly how to set up this sleeping position safely in your own bedroom, even if you use a modern mattress, even if you share a bed, even if you have mild back pain. And I'll also talk about who should speak to their doctor before trying it. Because while this approach is gentle, your health history always matters. Stay with me. The small details are where the real benefits live. Now let's talk about how you can actually apply this in your own home safely, comfortably, and in a way that fits your body. First, understand this. The goal is not extreme elevation. The goal is gentle assistance from gravity. For most people, raising the feet about 3 to 6 inches higher than the heart is enough. That's it, not a steep angle, not a dramatic lift. Just a subtle incline. If you sleep on your back, one simple method is placing a firm pillow or a folded blanket under your calves, not directly under your heels. When the support is under the calves, the knees remain slightly bent. This relaxes the hamstrings and reduces tension in the lower back. Your heels can rest lightly, without pressure digging into them. You should feel supported, not stretched. If you feel pulling behind your knees, the support may be too high. If your lower back feels strained, the pillow may be positioned incorrectly. Small adjustments matter. Now, if you're a side sleeper, and many seniors try placing a long pillow under both lower legs from knee to ankle. This keeps the legs aligned and slightly elevated without twisting the hips. It also prevents the top leg from pulling the spine out of alignment. Comfort is key. If you wake up in pain, you won't maintain the habit. And consistency is where the benefit lives. Another option, especially if you prefer not to use pillows, is a gentle mattress incline. Some people place a folded blanket or thin wedge under the lower portion of the mattress. This creates a gradual slope that feels more natural than stacking pillows. It also avoids bending the hips sharply. Now let's talk about timing. You don't need to sleep this way all night at first. Even the first 60 to 90 minutes, when your body transitions into deeper stages of sleep, can be helpful for fluid redistribution. Over time, if it feels comfortable, you may keep it all night. But remember something very important. This is supportive. It is not a cure. If you have severe swelling, sudden one-sided leg pain, redness, warmth, or shortness of breath, those are medical symptoms that require immediate evaluation. No sleeping position replaces medical care. Now let's strengthen the effect with simple daytime habits. During the day, avoid sitting longer than 45 to 60 minutes without movement. Even standing up and doing 20 ankle pumps can reactivate the calf muscle pump. When you're seated, try gently flexing and pointing your toes for 1 minute. It seems small, but small movements repeated often change circulation patterns. Hydration also matters more than many realize. When you are mildly dehydrated, blood becomes slightly more viscous thicker and circulation efficiency can decrease. Drinking adequate water throughout the day supports healthy flow. Not excessive amounts, just steady, consistent hydration. Let's talk about food briefly. Japanese elders traditionally consume diets rich in vegetables. Omega to 3 fatty acids from fish, green tea, and fermented foods. These support vascular health over time by reducing inflammation and supporting endothelial function, the inner lining of your blood vessels. Now, you don't need to completely change your culture or cuisine. But adding simple elements like leafy greens, berries, olive oil, fatty fish like salmon, or even a small handful of walnuts can support long-term vessel flexibility. And here's something many people overlook. Tight socks or restrictive elastic bands around the calves at night can limit circulation. If you wear compression socks during the day, that's often helpful, but remove them before bed unless your doctor specifically instructs otherwise. Loose, comfortable sleepwear allows better blood flow. Another mistake I see is sleeping with the feet hanging off the edge of the mattress without support. That downward angle can encourage pooling. Alignment matters even during rest. Now I want to pause for a moment. Think about your nightly routine. Do you scroll on your phone until you're exhausted, then collapse into bed in whatever position you land? Or do you prepare your body intentionally for rest? In Japan, sleep is treated with respect. The transition to bed is calm. The room is often cooler. The lights are softer. This supports the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and repair mode. When your nervous system is calm, blood vessels relax. When vessels relax, circulation improves. Everything connects. Circulation is not just about legs. It's about rhythm, alignment, hydration, movement, and nervous system balance working together. In the final part, I want to speak to you not just as someone learning a technique, but as someone who values independence, comfort, and dignity in the years ahead. Because this small change is not really about sleeping. It's about protecting your freedom to walk, to travel, to play with grandchildren, to wake up without that heavy feeling holding you back. And what I'm about to share may change the way you think about aging entirely. It's early morning, soft light coming through the window. You open your eyes, take a slow breath, and when you swing your legs over the side of the bed, they feel steady, warm, responsive, not heavy, not stiff, not reluctant. That feeling, that lightness, is not just physical comfort, it's confidence. It's the quiet reassurance that your body is still working with you, not against you. As we grow older, many people begin to accept discomfort as normal, swollen ankles, normal, cold feet, normal, night cramps, normal. But here's the truth. Common does not always mean inevitable. The body is incredibly adaptive. Even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your circulation responds to positioning, to movement, to gentle habits repeated consistently. It may not respond instantly like it did at 25, but it still responds, and that's powerful. The Japanese elders we spoke about are not relying on secret formulas or extreme routines. They respect small daily rhythms. They sit on the floor, stand up often, walk regularly, eat modestly, sleep intentionally. None of it is dramatic. All of it is steady. That is the real lesson. The sleeping position we discussed, a subtle elevation of the lower legs, is not magic on its own. It works because it aligns with how the human circulatory system was designed. It reduces strain on tired vein valves. It allows gravity to assist rather than resist. It supports your body during the long, quiet hours when repair happens. But more importantly, it reminds you that you are not powerless in aging. You can adjust your environment. You can adjust your posture. You can adjust your habits. And those adjustments accumulate. Think about this for a moment. If each night you improve circulation just a little, if each day you move just a little more, if each meal you choose foods that support vessel health just a little, where will you be in a year? Small advantages compound. And independence is often preserved not by big heroic efforts, but by quiet, consistent ones. If you try this position tonight, don't expect fireworks. Instead, pay attention to subtle shifts. Are your feet warmer? Is morning stiffness slightly reduced? Do your ankles look less puffy? Those small signs are your body communicating progress. And please, always listen to your body. If something feels uncomfortable or unusual, adjust gently or speak with your healthcare provider. Wisdom in aging includes knowing when to seek guidance. Before we close, let me leave you with this thought. Aging is not about fighting your body. It's about partnering with it. When you align with natural physiology, even in something as simple as how you sleep, you reduce struggle. You create flow. And circulation, in many ways, is the physical expression of flow in your life. So tonight, when you prepare for bed, take 1 extra minute. Arrange your pillow. Support your legs gently. Dim the lights. Slow your breathing. Treat your rest as something sacred. Your legs have carried you through decades of life. They deserve support. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like this video so more seniors can discover these simple, science-supported habits. Subscribe to the channel if you value calm, trustworthy guidance designed specifically for your stage of life. And I would truly love to hear from you. Have you experienced heavy legs at night? Will you try this position? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience may encourage someone else. Until next time, take care of your circulation. And it will take care of your freedom.